stimulate the mental. Time to strategize, cuddle up with Shizuko. I can feel the movement radiate through the convo. Talk is cheap, turn your faith into work. I drink my second cup and put my hands in the dirt. 2 cups drinking straight drip from the earth. Caffeinated conversations, you heard them here first. One for the wake up. One for the wake up. 2 for the work. Caffeinated conversations, you heard them here first. Welcome back to 2 Cups Cafe. I am your host, Alan C. Jackson, aka 2 Cups, and today who I have coming through for a high quality caffeinated conversation is my good friend Brinson, coming all the way from Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah. Okay.
Brinson. Brinson is a highly entertaining, energetic young fellow. He's an author, a movie maker, has his own entertainment company.
Yeah.
And so just welcome Brinson to the show.
Yeah. Hey, man, it's going to be the loudest show probably, but we going to have some fun. I one for the wake.
Yes, sir.
Put my hands in the dirt.
Yes, sir.
Get the second cup. Get the drip from the earth. Woo! Bars. Bars.
So yeah, man, like I invited you here, man. You're probably the most unique and energetic person I know. And that's real talk.
Praise God.
I'm not even pulling your leg.
Hey.
So but it's something interesting about you before we jump off in anything. Yeah. I know you into a lot of things that maybe other entertainers or people that they might not really talk about, but how you worked them into your business. You live an avid comic book reader.
Yep.
You love big time wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously you love music. So just tell us a little bit about yourself and how that came about.
Oh man, so growing up, my mom was in wrestling. And my grandma.
Not your mom was a wrestler.
No, she wasn't a wrestler. She was into wrestling.
Okay.
Still is.
Okay.
My grandma used to take them, my mom, when she was little, used to take them to see Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, like all the legends. Yeah. Harley Race and all them. And my grandma's still in wrestling at 97. So, you know what I'm saying? And
you got out of line, she go off the top rope on you.
Oh no, my mom has angle slammed me before. I was just messing with her one time. I think I was like 22.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, I'm over her shoulder and she done threw me. I was like, all right, we just not gonna play with her no more. That's it. You know what I'm saying? She watched too much wrestling for the foolery. And so G.I. Joe, Transformers, Power Rangers, all of the Silverhawks, Thundercats. When you come up in that era with all the great cartoons, Space Ghosts, you know what I'm saying? And then the comic book game when Spawn really got me in the comic books. I don't know if you know who Spawn is.
Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. So when Spawn came out and I got into like X-Men heavy and all of that, it was a good outlet.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? A real good outlet. Just to do something different. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't in the street slanging drugs or nothing crazy like that. Like I did my dirt.
Right.
But, I still had love for comic books. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even when you out doing your thing, you keep your ear open to what's happening. You know what I'm saying? And then when Marvel started dropping all these movies. You know what I'm saying? I'm always at the movies. You know what I'm saying? So,
but you a Star Wars guy too, right?
Super.
Okay.
Super Star Wars guy. So, you know what I'm saying? Right now, we in the Ahsoka series.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, I got love for that. Like, every Tuesday night, I'm like, I done cut the phone off. I done logged off. I'm like, no interruptions. Ahsoka on. So yeah, man, I'm super big in Star Wars. Like I got a collection too. It's crazy.
Man.
I don't flex my collection online, but my Black Panther comic book collection. You gotta own a comic book store to kind of compete with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's serious.
So you had the wrestling, you had the comic books,
movies.
But then movies. But then so was it hip hop first, or was it just music in general? What was it? The love.
I think all of them at the same time. All of them at the same time. Like my stuff kind of weird though.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
So,
like, I started rapping for the Lord at 4. You know what I'm saying? A guy named Stephen Wiley.
Okay, I heard of him.
Yeah, the first Christian rap artist to have a major deal. I had got a hold of his music. My mom did, not me.
Okay.
And I memorized his whole rap. I went from church, rapped it at my church. Then, word got around. This 4-year-old rapping about the Lord. Went to my grandma's church rapping. Went to another church rapping. You know what I'm saying? So all that still got your toys, but Sunday, like, oh, you got to do the thing again.
Okay.
Like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? So it all, and then after that, like my favorite album, like 5 and 6, it's gonna sound crazy. Weird Al Yankovic.
Okay, the parody guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man. He just was doing some outrageous stuff, but he would say comic book references and movie references.
Oh, you was picking up on
I was picking up on all that, and I thought it was cool. Like, he had a song about Yoda. I'm like, what you know about Yoda and Luke Skywalker? You know what I'm saying? So he had so much weird stuff. I gravitated to it, and it wasn't serious. You know what I'm saying? I still think he a genius in what he did, because he took people's songs that parody has a law to it.
Okay.
The law is you can make a parody of anything and you ain't got to pay people nothing. That's how he was able to take Michael Jackson and Coolio and all these people stuff and flip it, and they couldn't sue him because it's a parody. Because it's a parody. And if he take the biggest songs on the charts that's already making millions, and like, well, shoot, everybody ain't got to like it, but if I can get 10% of they 30 million.
Oh, you got 3 million.
You got 3 million. So, I mean, business-wise and strategy-wise, that was probably like one of the most ingenious things that happened in music business that people don't even think about. So that thought, I kind of translate that into how I do like my music and marketing. Like, what's the thing people not looking at?
Right.
What's the undercurrent that you can explode in? That people not looking at. People they look at always the big stuff, but the world's so big,
right?
And there's so many pockets and communities,
right,
in the faith, out the faith, places to do music and whatever business you got. If you find that niche, that undercurrent, and you blow it up, like, you don't have to make 30 million. You can make 3. You're still making $1 million.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
is that something you look back on, or that's something you appreciated? Because I know you wound up going to music business school.
Right.
And you could tell us a little bit about that. Like, where did that idea come from? Like, I'm going to go to music business school at a time where that might have not been a parent's first encouragement for a kid to go, want to be like Sean Combs or something.
Oh, man. My parents wasn't like pushing me to do anything. They just was like, do something. But I think out of all my brothers, I was the most ambitious.
Okay.
Like, I was doing secular rap, right? But what I would do, I would look at the landscape of the city and see what's not happening.
Okay.
And at the time in Jacksonville, nobody was like doing concerts. So I was like, I would read The Source, Blaze Magazine, Double XL.
Right.
I would buy biographies of like people in music business like Jermaine Dupri and all these Quincy Jones. I would read their stories.
So you was already studying.
I'm studying these people, and I'm like, well, what's the common theme? And it was always they would do something nobody else would be doing. Like, it's a whole community.
So were they telling you they were doing something nobody was doing, or you was picking up on it?
I was picking up on it. I was picking up on it. Like when Ludacris, when he got big, they would always tell his story, but nobody was paying attention to it because they was listening to the music.
Right.
Because he was like, he was rapping, but he knew he had to get his voice out there some type of way. So he got a job at the radio station.
Yeah, he was a DJ, right?
Being a DJ. So when the stars would come, he would be like, look, I need to get, if the Neptunes came for an interview, after the interview, he like, how can I get a beat?
Right.
Then somebody come and he like, how can I get a feature? And he paying for all this because that job gave him access to the people who regular people don't get access to.
So he put himself in a position,
right?
You know, for networking or communication that he wouldn't have if he was just on the outside looking in.
Right, right. So I'm thinking like, all right, what is not happening in the city? This is when I was doing secular stuff, and I was like, okay, there's no concerts. So I'm like, I'm gonna rent out a club. I'm gonna find out how much it costs, and then when you find this stuff out, like rent it for one night, it's only $400.
Okay.
And if people is buying the other beverages, they gonna take more money off of it.
Right.
So then I'm like, okay, nobody is doing raps at colleges, so you infiltrate the college, and then you get them to come in the clubs and all of this stuff. So then I'm picking up on it. And then it's like, then I'm reading books, Confessions of a Record Producer.
Okay.
All the things you need to know for music business, like just a plethora of stuff. I'm just trying to feed my mind. I'm like, okay, I'm in Jacksonville. Nothing happens in Jacksonville. And then I'm like, okay, then what you got to do? You got to have courage enough to do things that other people not doing. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to just fly to music business conferences, get connections, learn all I can learn. And then I came to a point where I was like, that's not enough.
So you was flying to business music conferences before you went to school?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And how old were you around then? Had to be in your
18.
Okay, so I was going to say
19.
early 20s, but you was even younger than that.
Yeah, 18, 19. Because I 18, I had a really good job. I worked for Citibank.
Okay.
And I think I was making at the time $58,000 a year. Still living at home.
Okay.
Killing it. Killing it. I ain't have to pay for toilet paper, no rent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My parents weren't pressuring me to leave or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was out there riding in the Cadillac, you know, candy paint. Come on, somebody. You know, trying to learn how to do this thing.
Right.
So then at the point, it seemed backwards to some people that were like, you leaving this good job, making all this money to go to college. Like, you making more than people in college.
That's going to come out of college making. Yeah.
But I like, no, I gotta, if I said it in my heart that it's nothing else I want to do. I want to do music. I'm going to do music. And during this time, I met this prophet. I was doing secular music. Met this prophet. My mom was like, let's go to this prayer meeting. And it's at noonday prayer, you know? And can't tell moms no. You just go. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up in church. I went, you know, I got to feel the Lord. I just was doing what I wanted to do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But like most people. We're just going to do that. I'm going to just do it. We're just going to look at camera one like most people. So went to this meeting, and I meet the guy. He was like, God gonna train you for the business of music. And I'm like, first time I ever encountered a prophet.
Right.
First time. And he was like, I also see you dancing in the fire, and God ain't let you get burned. And I was like, oh Lord. I said, well, God is real. He see me in these clubs, all the clubs.
So all of them.
If you got club, you know what I'm saying. And so I knew it had something to do. And then, even though I wasn't living all the way right, I put faith in, like I said, oh, God actually behind this. But I didn't have sense enough to know that he wasn't behind the lifestyle.
Right.
But he had a purpose.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So the music business and the way that I got into school was crazy. You know what I'm saying? But y'all got to watch the documentary to see that.
That's all right.
You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm gonna plug it. We're gonna plug things today. It's caffeinated conversations.
Come on.
One for the work, one for the wait. All right. So, you know what I'm saying? The music business, when I was learning things, it was weird because I did so much digging before I went to school.
Mm-hmm.
And the only things that really stuck out to me was the paperwork aspects.
Okay.
Not the strategies, because the strategies,
you kind of had a handle on that.
I had a handle on it. And when I was in school, I started working for a record label.
Okay.
They was with BMG and Sony, and I was so good. They was like, we want to put you over our TV and internet promotions. So I think I'm 20 or 21 at the time, making $70 an hour with this record label, traveling with them, and I'm just seeing what they're doing and studying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What they're doing in the music business. And the guy over the label was a writer for CeCe Wine and BB Wine and Vanessa Bell Armstrong, like a ton of gospel people. And that's how he made all this money to open this label. And then with those connections, that's how he got his deal. So then I'm like, it's not the talent per se.
Mm-hmm.
It's the relationships.
Right.
You get the right relationships, just like what I said about Ludacris. Right relationships, you getting in other doors.
Right.
So it's like you got to go out and meet the people. So in my mind, I'm like, I got to go more places and meet more people to make more connections to make things happen.
So when you were saying about the paperwork aspect, you're talking about like
Publishing,
and music contracts, and things of that nature.
Yeah. And the things to look out for, because in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm eventually going to sign a deal with a label. Because I'm in the publishing companies. They seeing me in there all the time writing. I'm trying to run into people. So I'm like, in Nashville, that's where I went to school at Belmont University. It's a place called Music Row.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 streets, and every big record label is on those streets. All of them. So I said, eventually, while I'm at my publishing company writing, I'm going to run into somebody. So I know in my mind, I'm like, I know I'm going to get signed. So I got to know more about what this means with percentages and or what this mean with merchandising and synchronizing and all the stuff that everybody on now. I was on back early in my 20s.
When you was doing all that though, your mindset was it to get, like, I'm gonna get in, like you say, like secular? Because right now, for those that don't know, that are listening or watching, that you were a gospel or
Christian hip hop artist, bars for Jesus. Oh, let me just bars for Jesus all day.
So, but at that time when you were initially learning all these concepts,
right?
In your mind, your idea was to do it in a non-Christian manner. I could put it like that.
Yes.
In a mainstream, popular culture.
It was mainstream. Yep. And I was doing everything, battle rapping, like everything to get visible. That's what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wasn't. The weird part is, I was doing secular rap, but I'm a guy who never smoked, never drank anything. I was sober minded because I'm like, I gotta get the business
right.
Sober mindedness unsober mindedness prevents you from seeing the big picture, and you can get gypped and
taken advantage of
quick.
Yeah,
real quick. That's why the majority of rappers, they keep them under the influence, so they miss a lot of stuff. Like, you could steal a lot of money from people you can steal a lot of money from drunk people,
right.
From high people. You high, like, you ain't gonna miss a couple of G's here and there,
right?
You know what I'm saying? You didn't see your manager come up with a new Porsche. You're like, man, that's great. Like, man, yeah,
you paid for it.
You paid for it, homie.
So when you made your transition, did you think music was over?
I did.
When, like, you had your come to Jesus moment.
Yeah, I did, because I made a deal with him. He got me out of a situation, and I said, if you get me out of this life-threatening situation, I'll serve you. And he kept his word. He kept his end of the bargain. I said, I'm gonna keep mine. So I jumped into a an apostolic church.
Okay.
We was churching.
Yeah.
5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. And my
you got that intensive training.
Oh, yep. My pastor then, he was a revivalist.
Okay.
All he wanted to do was run revivals. You know what I'm saying? So I put the music down. I stopped listening to music. I stopped reading comics. I stopped watching TV. I went into this cocoon of all I was doing was praying, reading, fasting, trying to seek God to see who it was, because it was more real to me then than ever in life.
Okay.
Because I would be, I'm in these services and I'm seeing things. I'm seeing people get healed. I'm seeing I'm feeling the presence of God, physically.
Right.
Walk in the service and it's the air feel different in here.
Call a tangible thing. Right?
Yeah. It's and then if the preaching get good, then it start getting smoky. I'm like, what is all you just seeing stuff you ain't never seen before. You're like, what is this? You know what I'm saying? So I put it all down. Then next thing I got ordained as a minister, started doing prison ministry, super heavy, fell in love with it.
Okay.
And I think that's where God really kind of grew me up in ministry, because I would be at the prisons, maximum security prisons, P farms, preaching every week, Christmas, Thanksgiving, I'm there. And, and everybody at, other people who was at the ministry, they was like, oh, I want to go to the prison ministry. They ain't want to go.
They ain't want to go.
They ain't want to go unless the big pastor go.
Yeah.
If the big pastor don't go, ain't nobody going.
Yeah, prison ministry ain't for everybody.
Yeah, it ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? When them doors close with them gates and you hear that, and you look like, oh, ain't nobody getting out here until they let you out of here. You get a little shaky.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So what'd you pick back up first? Comics,
music.
You picked up the music first?
Yeah, music, because I believe the Lord was like, I didn't send you to learn all of that for nothing. Pick it up and do it for me.
Okay.
And at the time, I knew nothing about the community of Christian rap.
Okay.
I just knew Stephen Wiley, and I knew this guy named Ren Rock.
Ren
Rock out of Valdosta, Georgia, and super country. Super great man. You know what I'm saying? And he used to come to the church I was at and rap.
Okay.
And in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, I used to rap. I used to spit. I was
nice, huh?
I could have rolled with Wu-Tang. We could have been the down south Wu-Tang. And then when the Lord spoke to me about picking it back up, you know what I'm saying, I started buying equipment, because I like, well, God don't want me to rap, he want me to produce.
Okay.
The rapping is over. So I produced half of Ren Rock next album, because I told him what I did, and you know what I'm saying, I mean, the beats wet and great, but he killed him. I ain't even gonna sit up here in front, but they was great to me at the time. Right. But listen back to it, it ain't aged well. I was like, what you gonna do? So he was a big encouragement for me to keep going. And then later I opened God Chasers in 2006. So I had another good job, quit the job, cashed out my 401k, build a studio.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then I linked up with my dude Ready Writer and this guy named Javon, and they were like workhorses. Yeah. Like I would be sending them beats. Like my beats was way better by then. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Brother had an MPC, and a Korg, motif.
You had the motif?
Yeah, the motif. I was killing. So then I would be making beats. I would spend 10 to 12 hours a day making beats and send them beats. And sometimes within an hour, they send me back complete songs. So we was just stacking up the library. So we did this for a whole year. So in 2007, we released 8 projects. You know what I'm saying? Because we had so much content. And I just had like a Master P mentality. Like, you remember No Limit used to
dropping all the time.
Every week,
man,
it was a No Limit with a different color cover. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, Lil Wayne at the time was flooding the streets with mixtapes, and I'm like, it's a method to this. I'm like, if you put out more content, you get more eyes. So that's in my promotion mind. I'm like, put out album, put out another album, put out another album.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, we just release more, go to places, send them to prison, send them to boys' home, send them to the orphanage, whatever.
Yeah, because I remember you had the one of your first albums was called 40 Yard.
That was the first album.
Yeah, for the prison
ministry. Yep, yeah. Because I had so much love for the prisons that I was like, I want to send something to encourage the men and women that's locked down, because a lot of them people, you know, they saved to the bone. You know, it took them being incarcerated, but it don't matter. Like, look, I'd rather be locked up here and go to heaven than, you know, not be free and end up somewhere else.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we did a lot of work. In 2007, we released 8 projects. 2008, we released 8 projects. In 2008, I released my first solo album, Escaping Me. And, you know, I was so out of practice rapping. I was like, man, ain't nobody gonna listen to me. We just putting out more content.
More content, right.
And, you know, and at the time I had a song called Solar Power with my homie D-Mob. And we made a music video, and that thing went berserk. Like, it was on the Gospel Music Channel. It was on MTV. It was on BET.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was going. You know what I'm saying? Next thing I know, I'm getting calls, go places, and, you know, and I'm like, well, man.
Because your idea at the time was not to be the forefront guy.
Yeah, because Ready Writer, superb lyricist. Javon at the time was superb rapper. Like, I didn't need to be the front man. These dudes, I would put them up against anybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I would still put Ready Writer up against anybody. I mean, his pen game still stupid. Like, it stayed like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but I was like, well, if I'm not the wordsmith and I'm not the rapper's rapper, then I'm going to be as entertaining as possible.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm going to make my concerts way better than everybody else's.
Okay.
So my mind is like, okay, I hate Jay-Z performances. I know somebody going to be in the comments like, don't come after Jay.
Well, he's pretty stationary most times.
He stays still. He walked back and forth. I'm like, I hate his shows. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't pay money for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me a Busta Rhymes show. He live. You know?
Yeah, Busta go.
He go. So I put it in my mind. I'm like, nobody at the time Christian rap is really performing. So make sure your performances and your music is at a high level. Because if you kill the performances, you're going to get invited back.
Right.
And somebody going to tell somebody else that he go.
And you wind up taking that marketing and that energy, and so then you pick back up with the comics. And next thing I know, we had became friends and stuff. You telling me you're going to be at this Comic-Con, you're going to be here and there. And I'm like, what are you doing at the Comic-Con with his CDs? Like, what's going on?
So then that's fast forward. You kind of merge two things. Like, I did a album. So I knew Black Panther movie was coming out, right?
Okay.
I made a project knowing that
I remember
it's coming
that.
out.
I remember
It was called Vibranium. And what I did, since I was going to these Comic-Cons, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, it's a community of people who, when they read comic books, they got a sense of spirituality. Because, you know, it's witchcraft and it's people with superpowers. It's all sorts of superhuman things. You know what I'm saying? In the Bible, you see superhuman things.
Right.
Samson, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, who is ministering to them? Who is giving them the gospel? So when I made the Vibranium album, I said, it's a Comic-Con gonna be in Chicago. I'm flying out there with my CDs.
Yeah.
And I was hitting them with it. And what's crazy is, like, a lot of the comic book shop owners love the album.
Okay.
They was hitting me up. They're like, hey, man, we got some comics for you. Just send me another one of them CDs. I was like, all right. And look, some of them comics.
So I got you.
Yeah, some of them comics was like $150. They had signatures and all of that. Like, yeah, go on, ship them to you. Here go the address. I got you. You know what I'm saying? So that was a strategy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, it's an undercurrent. Like Comic-Cons is big.
They're huge.
I was at one. It was a dude came up, flip flops, Hawaiian shirt. He was like, "How much is that? Incredible Hulk fist?" They was like, "Oh, that one? That's $800." He pulled out and swiped and walked off. And I'm looking like $800 for the fist.
For the fist.
For the fist. I was like, okay. So I knew it was because people go there to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't posted up selling my album. I wanted people to get it and be familiar with the music.
Okay.
And I know I put so much pop culture references in the way that the bars that now they like it's undeniable and they come back and say things that they picked up on.
And you met a lot of artists there too, right?
Oh yeah.
So I saw like a lot of your album covers have like that high quality comic illustrations on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the guys named Ken Lashley. He's a black brother in Canada.
Okay.
And I think he is probably top 3 artists that's doing comic books right now. He's like one of the most sought after comic book artists. Like he do Star Wars. He's done Spawn. He's done Black Panther. Shuri, the story is Shuri, when the sister of Black Panther, when she became Black Panther, they went to him to do the art and design for her. You know what I'm saying? So he
high caliber.
Yes. Yeah. Superman, Spider-Man, he do everything. You know what I'm saying? So I met him at a ton of Comic-Cons. Great dude, man. Real easy. But I know he pricey.
Oh yeah.
He pricey. Woo! I mean, he in high demand, so you know he can raise the bar like that. But he know what I do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we had some conversation. And I was trying to get him for this album that's called Reversing Tomorrow. Couldn't do it. This other album called Throw the Crown, he couldn't do it. And I said, it's my last attempt. I said, hey man, I've been trying to get you for years.
Right.
And he said he agreed to do it. And he said, look, I'm gonna look out for you. He said, it's gonna be far from free. It's gonna be far from free. Save your money, but you know, he did it. You know what I'm saying? And it was such a blessing because to have this brother who do Batman and Superman and Spider-Man, who do all the big covers,
right,
come and do one of my covers was crazy. And actually, that's the cover.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's Before He Cracks the Sky.
Before he cracks the sky.
Before He Cracks the Sky.
Okay.
He did the cover. He killed it. I'm still waiting on the original art to hang up. So Ken, if you're watching, I love you. Let me get that art. Come on, somebody. I'm gonna send this to him. Like, I talked about you.
He said, "Come on, somebody.
Come on. Yeah, man. So, yeah, it's the comic book journey been a blessing. And you mentioned wrestling too. And man, it's the last 2-3 years been such a blessing, and how God been opening up doors for me, man. Music wise, like I'm on. I got contacted by All Elite Wrestling, AEW.
AEW, yeah.
Tony Khan Wrestling Company, the music supervisor who do all the wrestling themes. You know, we was talking back and forth. He was like, I got something for you. Just hold tight.
Okay.
And I held tight, and it took him 9 months. took him 9 months, but he got at me, and he was like, we doing themes for all the black wrestlers.
Okay.
And he was like, can you do something like this? Can you make the beat too? What he didn't know is that I don't take long to do music.
Okay.
I made the beat, did the hook, the verses in 2 hours, and sent it to him.
Send it right back.
He was like, hey man, who are you? I'm somebody who ready.
Right.
Then he was like, can you do another one? I said, for who? So he told me, I researched the wrestler, did another one. I think that was 3 hours. He was like, man, this is crazy. Machine. So I end up doing, in that setting, 4 songs. One of the songs was on one of their biggest pay-per-views.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like 60,000 people in the arena, and this lady named Serena Deeb. I did her song with my homie Cutright, and it was crazy. I bought the pay-per-view just to hear,
just so you could hear the walk in.
Man, it was crazy. And then turn around, dog, and all 4 of them songs is on a video game.
Oh man!
So you know what I'm saying? Like one swoop, you on TV, you on a pay-per-view, and you on a wrestling video game.
Man, that's
you know what I'm saying? And who would have thought? You know what I'm saying? And then they just hit me up again. I'm doing another one for another wrestler. So I'm like,
oh, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
But
man.
you get into the Japanese big time wrestling too, though, don't you?
Oh yeah. New Japan Wrestling.
Yeah.
When I was in Japan last month, I went to New Japan Wrestling. Like my goal is to go to, let me see how many big wrestling organizations I've been to live. WWF, WCW, ECW, Impact Wrestling, AEW, of course, and New Japan Wrestling, and this independent USWA, Seedling. So I done been to like 8 wrestling corporations, you know what I'm saying, promotions. And the Japanese wrestling was hardcore. The crowd is different. You know what I'm saying? When you do a reverse, they clapping. I'm like, oh, y'all notice that too? Like, you know, regular people, they're just like, oh.
Right.
But I like the technical part. You know what I'm saying? I like the Kurt Angle, Bret Hart wrestling. Like, you do a maneuver, somebody reverse the maneuver. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a little spar, volley going almost.
Chain wrestling. That's what it's called.
Go.
Yep. So, yeah, man, I enjoy it. Big into Japanese culture. Been learning Japanese for 3 years, and I still feel like I'm in kindergarten.
Okay.
Still feel like I don't know that. Hold on.
So you went to Japan a couple times, and I know you rapped over there too, right?
Yeah. I rapped the first time I went at this church called New Hope Tokyo. This time I rapped in Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka.
Oh man, that's crazy. So what got you into Japanese culture? Was it the comics? You like anime? You just kind of like the movies, or what? What's going on?
People usually say it's anime. For me, it was kung fu movies.
Okay.
Black belt theater, brother.
Like,
you know.
Look, your South coming out. You said kung fu.
Kung fu. Yeah, man. Like when I was young, dude. Like you know when you had to order the movies and get them, like it's this movie called Chinese Super Ninjas.
Okay.
It took me 2 years to find this movie. But when I got it, I was like, this is the greatest kung fu movie I've ever seen in my life. And I was big into Bruce Lee, big into 5 Deadly Venoms. Blame Wu-Tang. Blame Wu-Tang. We gonna blame them brothers. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. I used to be a big Wu-Tang fan. You know what I'm saying? And the kung fu movies, and I just loved the techniques and just.
So I know Japanese big on the samurai, right?
Oh yeah. I got a samurai outfit. You know what I'm saying? I went over there and got one. Why not?
You got it tailor made, or you bought one off the rack?
Nah, I got it tailor made, brother. I saved up money. I said I'm gonna go over here and enjoy every part of this every day. You know what I'm saying? You got to celebrate and enjoy life. You know what I'm saying?
You're not gonna put the shoulder pads in there and be the Shogun of Jacksonville, are you?
No, I got the shoulder pads.
You got the shoulder pads?
Look, if you gonna do it, you got to go all the way with it. You got to commit. You got to commit to this thing. I was like, look, I wasn't gonna go over there and get like the little Shogun outfit. I got the whole Show Nuff outfit.
You got the Show.
I got my Show Nuff.
Oh man,
I got crazy. The glow. I came back with the glow.
So who's the mask?
Who's the mask? Kiss my Converses.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you told me something interesting. You know, you said you got to rap in the bamboo forest.
Right. It was a guy in there. He was on a you know how the steel drums look in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
He had it upside down and it looked like a turtle shell, and he was just going off doing his thing.
Yeah.
And then he seen me in the corner of his eye,
mm-hmm.
and then he started just doing like a rap beat. I was like,
wonder why he did that. but he started hitting with the rap beat.
Yeah, man, and it was dope. I was like, oh shoot. So I just went over there by him and started freestyling. And usually when I'm rapping, my eyes are closed. Nobody know that, you know what I'm saying? Because I always have shades on, but my eyes usually be closed. And I look up, you got 60 people got their phones up, and then I get to share the gospel with some people, and people like, well, what's your Instagram?
Yeah.
So you just don't know what the gift can do,
right?
You know, and a guy, he was our guide, paid for a guide, and he said that was the greatest thing I ever seen. I was like, dude, you capping me up, man. No, you know, just say,
you swelling your head.
You know what I'm saying? Just tell me it was cool. You know what I'm saying? Then he was like, well, I never seen a Black American rap with my own eyes.
Usually on TV. Huh?
Yeah, usually on TV. And then he was like, I'm gonna tell everybody about it. He was like, I'm gonna tell my kids this was one of the greatest moments, because the guy, that was his business. Like, that's all he do. He meet people and you know,
take them
around, and you know, he was real. The Japanese culture and the people are really wonderful people. You know what I'm saying? Really unchurched people, but wonderful people.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So you know, I was happy to get a chance to hit him with some gospel bars.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, man.
That's dope.
So
man, you been, man. I know you traveled to Alaska. You done been all over, man, and like I said, like 2 cups is about one for the wake, one for the work. And you definitely been putting in the work. The wake, I mean, you definitely get inspiration. You've been doing things outside the box. But what do you say, like in this day where everything is fast and it's quick, and we have a lot of creatives that, you know, kind of sometimes put down their creativity because they have to make a living or they don't get the financial return, the expectation now from the internet, from the from TV, from everything. Is like, if you're going to do something, your success is measured by how rich you get, how fast you get it, doing that what you know you're actually gifted to do. But a lot of people quit. They throw in the towel. And what would be your encouragement in the process to get them there if you had, just say, you pulled a young guy to the side or a young lady?
I think being able to live off of what you love is most important to most people. And if that's the case, then you got to find how many streams of income can I pull from this thing.
Okay.
Like, say if somebody wanted to do music, it's so many streams. It's a stream for writing for other people, making beats for other people, drawing up contracts for people.
Okay.
You know, if you got a brain like that, you know, it's touring, it's merchandising, it's different types of merchandising. Like, if you're an author, how many times can you speak? How many times can you do a book tour?
Okay.
How many books can you write? Can your book turn into a course? Like, how many streams of income can you make from this one thing? And I think people are so fixated on the one thing. They don't look at the avenues that you have, that you can do. Like, if you're an artist, you can get paid for performing. And you know what I'm saying? From publishing.
Okay.
Most people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? So it's so many streams. So what I had to do was draw up every stream of income that I can generate and exploit all of them,
right? And
go after all of them. And if one, and whichever one is the highest return with the least amount of work, you do that least amount of work for that high return and then go to the other ones.
Okay.
So they're all working together, because I've learned it's not one thing.
Okay.
It's a combination of multiple things working together to make the thing work.
Okay.
And when people quit, they quit because of pressure. Whether it's financial pressure, whether it's people not believing in you pressure, whether it's you not seeing traction pressure. Your consistency will reveal who you really are.
Okay.
You know, everybody can come up with an idea, but I'm looking for when the excitement in, the commitment got to kick in.
Okay.
You know, you got to do this thing when you not excited, when you not encouraged, when you're not at your peak moment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you really got faith, like I believe I'm called to do this.
Right.
So I got extra on my work ethic because I believe God is behind what I'm doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he showed me over and over, you know what I'm saying? But in a natural sense, if you can't believe in yourself, you're not going to believe in your work ethic, you're not going to believe in your product, and you're not going to be consistent in doing it.
And how do you identify people that that you allow to give you advice or speak into your life, or somebody that could potentially open the door, but you don't want to ask them to open the door. You just want to find out how the door was open for them.
Well, for me taking advice from people, I got to ask myself, do I want to trade lives with them? And if the answer is no, I don't want to listen. Like, do I want to trade lives with you? Not just what I see on the outside, but how are they relationships? Are you a millionaire with no friends, or are you somebody who is successful in your relationships intact? Like, people always like, you know, that's the guy who helped open this door for me. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at people character, because your character gonna take you in rooms, talent not gonna take you.
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? So, and for people looking to get things, I would say this: if you want advice from people, pay them.
So now you're getting the consultation.
Yeah, pay them. And people just want to get free advice. Stuff not free. You know, the sowing and reaping effect is even true in business. You hear people in business that they'll say, I paid for this masterclass. I paid for this and that. And it's not just the monetary return. It's them, you know, giving out so they can get back. You know what I'm saying? So the best thing to do to people, if they give you good advice, find a way to bless their life again. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel that.
Because somebody said the anointing you respect is the one that you sow into and you take a part of.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So the wisdom that you want to have, you got to invest in that. Put money towards that. Put money towards wisdom. If you got a product and you looking at somebody like a Mark Cuban, find his masterclass.
Right.
Find the products, and you might not never meet him, but you can get information and insight that the normal person won't get. And if you don't have no money, just watch Shark Tank for about 3 years straight. You'll get that'll stir it up. You know, Shark Tank Shark Tank I have you out here creating all types of stuff. You done had a robot that can make water out of plastic.
No, that's great, man.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Great advice. I know also one of my mottos is that I never work with nobody that I think is whack or that think that I'm whack.
Listen. Listen. He told me this years ago, and it revolutionized the way that I do music with people. And I tell people it all the time. I am not paying you a cent to be on a song with me if you think I'm whack.
That's right.
I'm not paying for nothing. I'm not going to, if you don't like what I do, even though we're in the same space, and I feel like, I don't feel like I know this. I respect everybody. I root for people. But when I don't get it back, I can still root for you. That don't mean I'm gonna work with you.
Right.
Yeah, that bit of advice, I've taken that and used it for years.
That's all right. But
Yeah, man.
I stand by that, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't care how big or great you are. if we working together, I kind of sense like
you trying to play me.
Yeah, like kind of like little guy in me or brushing me up.
You trying to bishop me? Shout out to Pastor Sweeney.
So at that point, I'm just like, nah, I'd rather not start that relationship.
Right.
Because I know it's not going to be fruitful because both of our hearts not in it.
Yeah, yeah. And you work too hard for people to try to poo-poo on what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I wish somebody would come on caffeinated conversations, 2 cups cafe, and try to play you. It's gonna be the worst interview because you're gonna sit and be like, well, we can wrap this up. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for tuning in.
Right. They probably won't never see it.
Well, we got an outtake. You got some outtake. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know where this is going to go. Mm-hmm. This might turn into some sort of documentary, like a Toledo documentary. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh, that might be something. Toledo. I know it's a Toledo Film Festival because I submitted to it.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
We might as well talk about plug the documentary and plug the your latest project, man, before we get out of here.
Man, I don't want to stop talking. Okay. Well, before we start doing some plug, let me shout out some people. I know this is the first. I want to shout out Corey Precise.
Oh man, legends.
You know what I'm saying? I want to shout out K9. I want to shout out Ready Writer and C Straight and Oatmeal and Nazarite, and I want to shout out Christian hip hop. I want to shout out the Tabernacle. You know what I'm saying? What's the pastor name who started the Tabernacle?
Arville Garrett.
We need to shout him out. You know what I'm saying? He might not ever watch this, but we gonna shout him out anyway. You know what I'm saying? I want to shout out the whole Jackson clan. You know what I'm saying? You know, I heard yesterday it's supposed to be a family podcast.
Family podcast. Yeah, that's what my daughter said.
This is a family podcast. We gonna shout her out. It's for the family. We shout you out. Who else we got? We got to shout out Heaven. They're going to be like, what is wrong with him? we shouting out the whole Toledo. This was for Ohio. This for Ohio. Yeah, man. So the documentary, God Chasers documentary, you could get it at God Chasers, GODCHASERZ.doc.com. Not the DOC who used to rap with NWA, DOC, just GodChasersDoc.com. And, that's the best place to get it from us because it's from our site. Mm-hmm. And just to say this, going back to business a little bit, for creatives, I think one of the best things for you to do is create a hub and a landing spot that people buy directly from you. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, my music is on Apple. Yes, my music is on Spotify. But Steve Jobs ain't helped me write nothing. Mm-hmm. And he getting 30%.
Okay.
Your own hub, you get 100%.
Okay.
So God Chases the documentary is on Apple TV. You know what I'm saying? So people can get it there.
Right.
But I prefer them to go to godchasers.com. So, the proceeds go directly here. You know what I'm saying? So the documentary, it won 64 awards globally.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And in different communities. It's a Christian film, but, a lot of other communities, you know what I'm saying, who don't agree with the Christian faith. Right. It won awards.
They still respect the work.
They still respect it. They respect the work and they respect good storytelling because it's a great story. You know what I'm saying, about how, we developed this label out of obscurity. Right. And God just took us around the world with it. And we not the biggest Christian hip hop rappers in the genre, but God has been able to make us do big moves. You know what I'm saying? Even though it don't seem like we the biggest ones, but a lot of times we the first that people ever hear of. Right. You know what I'm saying? And we're effective in what we do. You know what I'm saying? So since I started rapping, I'm a way better rapper than I once was. Like, I feel like I'm top 5. Okay. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm top 5 and I ain't 4 or 5. So, you know what I'm saying? I might be 3.
We can make some cases.
You know what I'm saying? Look.
Got some rings and some awards. And
stuff. Any rapper out there who want to do a versus with me, I'm 11 albums deep. Come on with it. I'm 11 deep, and this 12. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. So the documentary been doing numbers. It's been doing good. It's really been blessing people. I think the best compliments that I've heard is how it increased people's faith and their belief in themselves to do their dream. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the best compliments outside that they felt the power of God on it. So that's the best compliment. But the other one is encouraging people that you can believe in yourself, believe in your craft, believe in the dream that you got in your heart.
Right.
And then you can go forth, and the more constant you are with it, the more doors are open and more you can figure it out. The doing is figuring it out. You figure it out as you do, not a lot of planning to keep you stagnant. You got to start doing.
You got to work.
You got to work. Put your hands in the dirt.
You got to do it, man.
Put your hands in the dirt.
You only can talk so long.
Yeah.
You only can talk so long.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's powerful, man.
Yeah, man.
So this is your 11th studio albums you got coming out right now?
No, this is number 12.
This is number 12.
This number 12. Okay. It's called Lord Prepare a Table. And I'm getting an award this Saturday at the Kingdom Choice Awards in New York City. And it's like a lifetime achievement award for Christian hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And to have, I've been dropping albums the last 8 years once a year. So I've just been consistently doing it. You know what I'm saying? And number 12, I feel like this is my Purple Rain album because I'm doing more than rapping. I'm going other places. I'm taking. When you've rapped and did so many songs, it's like, man, you got to take creative risks.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm being a risk taker. I'm jumping out the airplane. I said, I'm gonna make music like nobody's looking. So you know what I'm saying? It's
that's the best stuff come out though.
Yeah, man.
Not trying to follow no blueprint, no template. You just exploring what's inside of you. That's dope.
This is what I've been telling myself, music business wise, creative wise. It ain't no rules. It ain't no rules. Like, what's the rule? Like, I pressed up the album. It probably not gonna come out until like December, but I pressed them up and I had them out here selling them. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, well, why ain't coming? Ain't no rules. I just felt like it. I could do it. It's my label.
Right.
Like, ain't no rules. There's no rule, but you just do it. Like, you could do 2 minutes of these conversations and just have a line of people come and do the speed interview. There ain't no rules to this thing. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever is in your heart to do. You know what I'm saying? So y'all about to get some reels out of this one.
Let's do it.
Get some reels. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I can't hold you too long because we got to go to the airport. And last time you was in Detroit, you had a little snafu
with the DEA. They thought I was a drug dealer. You out here taking picture with nuns with your chains on and these big brothers looking like your bodyguard. You got $50,000 on you? I wish. They had the guns on me, man.
Yeah, that's true story. That's true story. So we gotta give them enough time to strip search you, brother. So.
Man, listen. I want you to know I'm proud of you.
Oh man.
Of this podcast. I hope you have 200, 300 episodes. You know what I'm saying? I just pray that you invest more into it. It's great conversations. I learned a lot from the brothers who you have on here. You know what I'm saying? Like I would challenge you to do something out the box.
Okay.
Bring heaven in here and grill her. See, because when I was talking to her, I was like, oh, she kind of brilliant and she got another outlook. You know what I'm saying? Like it's good. You got the t-shirt. Y'all go ahead and buy y'all 2-cup. You know what I'm saying?
The merch.
We're going to get that merch. We're going to plug merching up in here. We're going to plug the merch. So, man, thank you for having me, brother.
Oh, no doubt, man.
Yeah. And y'all go to godchasers.com and pick up some albums and some merch.
Got a bunch of it.
You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of albums. You're like, I don't got CDs. Well, you know what? You could download on the site. We that no excuse ministry.
Oh man, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, man. This has been one of my favorite episodes by far, man. Just getting a chance to hang out with this brother always brings out the lighter side in me. Until
as always, one for the way, one for the work, 2 cups, boy.
Mm.